My name is Stan Woodward. I make Southern culture and folk life documentaries. I return to my home state of South Carolina to locate and authenticate places where a traveler can still get a genuine taste of South Carolina home cooking and barbecue, cooked in the old-fashioned way, with roots in the farm kitchens and barbecue pits of what is now a 4-county region of the South Carolina National Heritage Corridor. This is the land of my fathers and my father's fathers. I remember as a boy walking in sun-drenched fields and picking cotton with the field workers on my grandfather's farm, or watching my uncles plow furrows with a team of mules.
There are many opportunities to find the taste of the South Carolina countryside, but you have to know where to look. We're talking about local home cooking and barbecue restaurants that maintain traditions rooted in the kitchens and barbecue pits of past generations. Folklife documentary filmmaker Stan Woodward and I spent over a year traveling through the 4 counties in this region. We located sites by stopping and talking to local residents, asking them where do they go for home cooking and barbecue with roots. Identified as folk heritage foodway sites, these restaurants represent traditions that were born in the farm culture of the local communities. Now, some are off the beaten path and are going to take a little effort to find, but it's well worth it. You'll find wonderful people and a plate of food that puts a smile on your face.
Oh yeah, can't stay pat, Lord, I gotta step it up and go.
Stan, the best way to find authentic folk heritage foodway sites, restaurants that are born right here in this region, is to get out and simply start talking to people. Gas stations, vegetable stands, meet people where they are. Where would you go for some good barbecue?
Well, Edmonds is the closest, right down here on the left.
How you doing? How is barbecue here?
Oh, it's real good, real good.
Is it pretty typical of the barbecue you grew up eating?
Oh yeah, I grew up right across the street, so I've eaten it all my life.
Yeah.
But she can cook good salad. She can cook good salad, she can cook good turnip green.
It's my favorite barbecue sauce. Sometimes I want to just take it with me. I might try to see if they'll sell me some today.
She can cook good turnip green. She wears her dress up above her knees. She can cook good salad and black-eyed peas. She can cook good salad. She can cook good salad.
A Duke's pork shoulder.
Good salad, she can cook good turnip green.
Where they go to the track kitchen. That's run by Pockets, an old-time horseman.
It's really not publicized, but we do get a tremendous amount of people from out of town.
Mm-hmm. What seems to bring them here?
I guess just the atmosphere itself, the food, you know.
Being around horses.
And being around horses. You can sit and have breakfast, and you might see a horse pass by, or the carriage horse pass by.
The riders, the grooms, trainers and all, they would come in to have breakfast early in the morning and get back to work, and they call it the track kitchen.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a good home cooking restaurant in downtown Aiken, like Mama used to cook.
You would probably want to go to Pat's Restaurant. It's on the corner of Newberry and Richland Avenue.
The food is the best you can get. It's so home-style cooking, and they've got a cook, Rose, back there. You ought to talk to her. She's been here about 25 years.
The ladies back there in the back know what to do with a stove.
Raven, onions, potato salad, macaroni and cheese. Going twice. I'm the oldest of 12 children. Now I have 8 living brothers and 1 sister, and I had to cook for all of them because they were smaller, so I had to do a lot of cooking. And my mama taught me to cook at an early age because when she was younger, she had to work in the fields and pick and chop cotton, so I did a lot of the cooking. And then my daddy built me a little stool with a couple of nails, and it would make me taller. So I would stand up to the sink or to the table or the stove wherever I was cooking to see what I was doing. Peggy! All right, now, where we at now?
Small community gas stations like this are rich resources for local food traditions. Now, these are some of the first places you're going to drive by and not think twice about. But as I've traveled the 2-lane highways that crisscross Region 3 of the Heritage Corridor, we've found some real jewels in rural communities like this.
Does this remind you of home cooking?
Yeah, especially that rice and cube steak too. Oh man.
You've got home cooking here at this gas station. That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, we're a rare breed, I guess you could say. We've got mashed potatoes, fried pork chops, meatloaf.
Country home cooking, comparable with any southern home-style restaurant. I'll eat here, lunch probably a couple times a month, 3 or 4 times a month.
Well, now, it's unusual to find that for me at a gas station.
Well, I don't know whether you can just call this a gas station or not. They're very good, but it's a home-run operation.
This is about the closest you'll come to eating out of your grandmother's kitchen without being in her kitchen.
Now, these small community-based gas stations and grocery stores, convenience stores, whatever they might be, like their restaurant cousins, they're located in rural areas. And for a lot of these places, this is the community center. This is the place where folks come to catch up on the local news, to get their groceries, to get the diesel fuel for their tractor, and to get a darn good home-cooked meal.
Well, I tried something here the other night. Think I'm gonna try some more. Try the same thing in this town, and I know I'll be a winner show. Well, I put my sack right on my back, and I stepped out late one night. Well, I filled that sack right up with fowl, and I did not have to fight. There was chicken, go up in the balloon. Chicken, you can hide behind the moon. Chicken, ain't gonna let you be.
And I picked these nice fresh tomatoes out of my garden today, and they're going on the buffet.
Chicken, you can hide behind the moon. Said chicken, ain't gonna let you be. Got a $40 one for the chicken.
My mother, she started cooking in the smokehouse for me and doing the barbecuing for me. Mm-hmm. And we just took it over from her.
Got a $40 one for the chicken tonight. You can't roost too high for.
Thank you so much.
How do people find you? This is a little bit off the beaten path.
Yes, it is. From Columbia, you become I-20 to exit 5. Exit 5, which will turn into Martintown Road. Once you get over into the city of North Augusta, and you will go to Atomic Road. And you take Atomic Road down to Beach Island, into Beach Island, and you can turn on to Urquhart Drive. And Urquhart Drive will bring you around the Sandbar Ferry Road, and you make a left on the Sandbar Ferry, and you can't miss it.
That sounds good.
Now I got to get here and cover these up here.
How's Freeman's for barbecue?
Well, I've been coming here for about 20 years. I think it's the best.
Is this what you grew up with?
Oh, yeah.
You remember barbecue when you were a little boy?
Oh, yeah.
How'd they used to cook it?
Same way Freeman cooks it.
Somebody told me you make your own charcoal for your hog. Is that right?
Yeah, I do.
You know anybody else that does that?
No, I don't. Okay, here's my charcoal with a cook.
I know he does it the old-fashioned way. He puts his whole hog on the pit. He don't turn him over till he's done.
That's the old way?
That's the old-fashioned way.
That takes slow cooking, doesn't it?
Well, anything worth doing is worth doing right.
Yes, sir. Mr. Freeman, when did you start learning to cook barbecue?
It's ever since I was a boy.
Who'd you learn from?
My grandfather.
Who'd he learn from?
I don't know who he learned from.
Do you cook pretty much the way you remember him cooking?
Same way.
Did he make charcoal, or is that your invention?
Me and him. He learned me.
That's the reason I keep coming back, Freeman. He's a connoisseur on his barbecue. You'll notice you always find him in the pit. He's not in there behind the register, he's in the pit. He's real peculiar about his barbecue, and he wants to see to it that everything's done right.
How much longer on the ribs? 45 minutes.
Is Freeman's where you come from? You barbecue most of the time?
Uh-huh.
Is it like what you grew up with?
Yes.
Everybody kind of, likes what they grow up with, and that's the reason I like Freeman's sauce. He's got the vinegar-type sauce, and he still chips his meat up. He doesn't have one of those machines, and that's my choice.
What's special about this place to you?
I think the tradition passed down from father to son and working on the next generation from there.
Yeah.
So I don't think it ever loses its taste.
To me, it has more flavor and more hickory taste. I bought some yesterday from somewhere else, but I kept thinking about it this morning. I said, I got to get the Freeman's because I want some of theirs because it's got that smoky taste.
We have been coming here for the past 10 years from New York.
The lady at the beauty shop told my wife that it was the best barbecue in South Carolina. Just slow down, man. Get off the interstate. Go in the backwoods. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We stay off of them.
Home cooking is a lot to do with the seasoning, and a lot of people, you go in a lot of places, they don't season the food very well, but in South Carolina we have our own little version of seasoning, and we like it to taste good.
How you doing? How you doing? What you doing back here?
Making a little pimento cheese, homemade stuff.
Pimento cheese?
Pimento cheese,
homemade
yes.
Pimento cheese.
Well, I do most everything homemade. It's kind of an art that's lost anymore.
Who'd you learn from?
My grandmother. Started when I was about 8 years old, helping her in the kitchen.
If I say home cooking to you, what comes to your mind?
Places like this right here.
I really eat here, and I had McDonald's and Hardee's. They serve some good food here. Real good.
You musicians know where to eat around here. If I asked you where you recommend me to go to get some good home cooking, I mean the kind that came off the farm, where would you tell me?
Well, now, there's several of those around here. If you name one, you don't name all of them, you go get in trouble.
All right.
But if you want some real good cooking, the Winton Inn restaurant out here at the Winton Inn Motel is good. The Miller's Bread Basket over in Blackville is a Mennonite restaurant. It's delicious. Brooker's right down here on Allen Street. Good old home country cooking. Now, there's a lot of other good food to be eaten in Barnwell, but that's the good old home country restaurants.
How about that? No, give me some of your pudding.
Ms. Brooker, what is home cooking to you?
Like old time used to cook. You can't get that now. And my mother taught me how to cook. I was cooking until I was 9 years old.
9 years old?
9 years old, and it kept going and going and going. And so I always wanted to get out and work in a restaurant. I always wanted to get out there and cook a home-cooked meal for somebody to eat like my mother taught me how to cook, so they can enjoy it.
Yeah.
But see, you hardly get that anymore. But everybody be running, working, and they don't have time to do it. What I do is I take time to do that kind of cooking. She likes to have you to treat a customer kind and respect. And if you treat someone right, they always will come back. If they see a smiling face, see that you will have a smiling face, they're gonna come back.
This is the best place to get you a good homemade meal that you can find in Barnwell.
Is that right?
That's right.
And what makes it a homemade meal?
Well, I reckon you call it soul food.
Yeah.
It's just good country eating.
When you cook your food and your customer enjoy it, like Mr. Baxter there, he come in every morning, sit down and eat with us, and he enjoy his food. And that means a whole lot to us.
It's just wonderful.
You can get whole chickens fried up. They'll do anything for you. Accommodation price is very reasonable. There's not anything any better around.
Well, now, I've noticed the black folks and white folks are piling in here this morning. So this is food that both blacks and whites love to eat.
Everybody loves to eat here. It don't matter what they are. Yellow, green, Martians would come in here and eat.
You ever had a Martian come in here?
Yeah.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time and man. Loves me in spite of my Mickey Mouse ways she don't understand. Through teardrops and laughter, we're gonna pass through this world hand in hand. Good-hearted woman in love with a good...
What you got?
Home cooking. Fried chicken, stewed tomatoes and rice, and peeled peas.
Soul food is something like we put out there. That is soul food.
What you have on the buffet is soul food?
That's soul food.
What is it? Why do they call it soul food?
Because it's good. You cook it from scratch.
From scratch?
Yeah.
It's what I've eaten all my life. And I just don't think there's anything any better in the world than good old Southern cooking.
Well, I tried some last Saturday night. My money was not wasted.
Bo Whitlock's private recipe.
It was out of sight, the best I ever tasted. Good for misery in your back, good for corns and bunions. I tell you, honey, that sure was good. She said,
I've been cooking for years. I learned how to cook when I was about maybe 12.
Did your mama cook?
My mother cooked, but I mostly learned from my grandmother because that's who I live with most of my time. It's with my grandmother.
Grab it now. Where would I go to find some good food around here?
The Miller's bread basket.
Now, what makes Miller so good?
Because it's home cooked.
Home cooked.
Home cooked.
Now here at Miller's Bread Basket and many of the little southern restaurants, you find a mom and pops aspect, which means that they're different. There's something that restaurant does that is not going to be like, we can't buy it anywhere else. It's right here. It's nowhere else. And it's not a repeated thing many, many times. It's just one and one only. And the only place you'll get it is where it originated. We make bread here every day. We have a little old mixer that makes 10 to 12 loaves each. And so we have, at least in any given day, you'll have 4 or 5 different fresh breads. I don't think the Mennonite cooking is that much different than home cooking down in the South here. You know, with a little spice and flavoring, you can really enhance that food. The kitchen produces what's at hand, what that was raised on the farm.
Well, that looks good, Ray.
Yeah.
I hope in my lifetime that there's always little country restaurants like this because it's a time that's slipping away from us real fast.
Well, it's kind of my little niche. That's what I like to do. And we have a little something special here, that home-cooked meal. Even though it's cooked right here in this restaurant, it's still a home-cooked meal, just like Grandma did it.
How you doing?
Fine, how you doing?
Where can I get some good home cooking, you know, like this cooked on the old wood stoves, that type of cooking? Where can I find some?
Hattie Fanny.
Where are they?
They're called Radio Track.
Okay, thank you. That is a good-looking plate. How about letting me eat that and then you order another one?
Today at Hattie's and Fanny's, we are serving white rice, gravy, seasoned rice, stewed tomatoes, ham hocks, fried chicken, fried pork chops, smothered chicken. We have the fried fish, the sauces, the macaroni and cheese, the yam, cornbread, and butter beans and cabbage.
Good night. At this little place?
Yes.
And do you serve that every day?
Yes.
And then, do you have any specials?
Yes, it's like on Thursdays we have the chitlins and the stone stew.
The good soul food.
Down home country food. It's a good place to come to eat.
How would you describe this restaurant to a tourist who was coming into this area?
Quaint. Some of the best food today is in Blackfoot. And I tell you what, it's delicious.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Usually in the city, you got fast food restaurants. People eat real quick and come and go.
Right.
You come to a place like this, you can sit down and take your time and really let your food digest and really enjoy, you know, stuff that people don't do no more in the city.
In Fanny's family, folklore was happening, and you didn't even know it. I mean, she was watching her mom. She was probably right at her mom's elbow, learning to cook, and her mom didn't have any idea that it was going on. So that's the dynamic of folklore right there. You know, Fanny's mom comes home, and this whole meal is prepared. She unknowingly has taught her daughter how to cook. It was just a perfect story to illustrate that.
So if people want to experience folk life, get a taste of South Carolina, and really learn what the folk life experience is about, they could come here and eat this food. They'd get a big hit of it, wouldn't it?
You could, you're ingesting the folk life of Hattie and Fanny's family.
This a pretty good place to eat?
Yes, I invite anybody to come here.
Yeah?
Yes.
What kind of food you got?
Like I say, down home cooking.
Well, you can go out and eat, that's for sure. But it's nothing a homegrown tomato won't cure. Put 'em in a salad, put 'em in a stew. You can make your very own tomato juice. You can eat 'em with eggs, you can eat 'em with gravy. Eat 'em with beans, pinto or navy. Put 'em on the side or put 'em in the middle. Put a homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle. Homegrown tomato, homegrown tomatoes. What will I say without homegrown tomatoes? The only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
Oh, I love it. It's good.
Something like mother would cook.
Feel like we at my mom's house on Sunday.
Through the week we do pea seeds, neck bones, all this old-fashioned food.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a good, real good on it. Be surprised at the people that eat it.
Good. Hello. How's everybody feeling?
Good.
I want to see Miss Jeanette.
You know me?
If I say home cooking, what pops into your mind?
Well, now see, you say home cooking. I would be unfair if I don't say sweet potatoes and corn and things like that. So I'm letting you know right away where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir.
Like pot liquor.
Right.
They're selling pot liquor everywhere.
Now, if somebody comes here from, Iowa or New York, and they don't know what pot liquor is, how would you describe pot liquor to them?
It's the greatest substance in the world from the greenery, like turnips, collards, things like that, rutabagas, things like that. Pot liquor, I'll describe it. Get the juice from their food, and you got it.
Right.
That's great.
Thank you. For all the nice things you do. And this kind of food is what we got to go back to, and straighten ourselves out. You got to get off the interstates and go find out in them rural areas where that food is at. We got to start doing that. Drive off with your family and go to one of these small restaurants, and you'll find yourself eating food that was good for your kids, good for your family, and was good for your grandfamily.
It was always a hobby, always my dream. Ever since I was about 10 or 12, that was my dream.
Really?
Yeah.
A person should have a right to fulfill their dream. Everybody should have a right to the tree of life. But you know what? I've been all over that tree. And this is where the life is, right here. God bless you.
Well, you can go out and eat, that's for sure. But it's nothing a homegrown tomato won't cure. Put 'em in a salad, put 'em in a stew. You can make your very own tomato juice. You can eat 'em with eggs, you can eat 'em with gravy. Eat 'em with beans, pinto or navy. Put 'em on the side or put 'em in the middle. Put a homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy. Come right in.
Hey, where's a good place to eat around here for home cooking?
All right, well, we got Rachel's Restaurant. Does that scare people off, or does that bring people in?
Well, everybody comes in and says they like my sign.
And then we have a little bee box, and we have a little fish market right across the street.
We have flounder, croakers, Florida brim. We have shrimp fried rice. We have all salads, all kind of seafood salads. We have a lot of local that comes in and patronize our business.
It's really good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. And some travelers that comes along, you know, have good conversations and they eat a good meal. They eat in with us, and then some desire to take their food out with them.
How you doing?
Fine, you?
This your place?
Yes, sir.
What kind of cooking do you do here?
What kind of cooking?
Yes, sir.
Home cooking.
Home cooking?
Home cooking, yeah.
What is home cooking?
Well, we can fix you any vegetables, fried chicken, a complete menu.
And who'd you learn from?
My mama.
Who'd she learn from?
Her mama.
Who'd she learn from?
Her mama.
You remember your mama cooking on a wood stove?
Yes, sir.
Are these recipes pretty much like what she cooked
Same
on
way
that
she
wood
cooked
stove?
back then, yes. And we have catfish still on Friday. It goes back recipe probably 100 years.
Wow.
Highway 64 is our nature trail. And if you go down the highway, you see these blue signs, Heritage Corridor, nature. It promotes tourism. People are looking for their heritage to see where they were born and raised, and hunting good food.
I like your shirt here.
Oh,
You got Heritage
thank
Corridor
you.
on the shirt too.
Yes.
You see that, Stan?
Tell me what Heritage Corridor, what are you trying to promote with it?
With the Heritage Corridor, well, we're trying to do the same thing you are. Promote South Carolina. Promote local traditions, local food, local artists.
We have beach goers coming out of Aiken, North Augusta. They come right up 64, nature trail, go right on down to the beach, and they plan to eat here going. They leave the beach and they plan to eat here going back.
Now, what type of food are they looking for?
Home cooking.
Home cooking.
Home cooking.
Home cooking. If I say Rachel's, what pops into your head?
Fried chicken.
If I say Rachel's, what pops into your head?
Fried chicken.
Macaroni and cheese.
Fried chicken and macaroni and cheese.
I wish somebody would tell me what did it wow did it mean.
We have a lot of people that come in and they'll sit on the porch.
We got to get some gas, Stan. You go to B&D Barbecue.
Is that right?
Yep. It's good home cooking. B&D Barbecue is one of the most out-of-the-way barbecue houses in South Carolina. It's 10 miles from Earhart, 30 miles from Orangeburg, and at least 20 miles inland from Interstate 95. But it's family-owned, it's located right on the farm, and from what we've heard from people throughout the region, you'll find some of the best barbecue in the state.
When I came over here, it was a big joke. They called it Plum Nellie. It was Plum in the woods and Nellie out the world. And I still have folks coming to eat B&D Barbecue, and they think they're at the end of the map and they're fixing to fall off.
Bobby, how'd you get started in barbecue?
Well, we was cooking a lot of barbecues for our church, 4 or 5 a year. Then we got so bad with the farming, we decided we would try it for ourselves and helped ourselves out.
Now, what made you decide that barbecue would help you?
Well, that was about the only thing that we know that we could cook, that we could do good. Farming business is just so bad, we had to find something else to do.
Miss Dixie, what you fixing to make here?
We're going to make the barbecue hash for our Saturday operation, and it's made of beef and pork.
lot of hash men talk about the look of their hash. That's pretty important to you, isn't it?
That's right.
The look of the hash.
Because you see a whole grain of corn floating in a pot of hash, that just don't look good.
Well, I used to have a girl, she was tall and lean. She'd shake that stuff like a washing machine. You gotta step it up. And go. You stay back, but only gotta step it up and go.
You got a name for this sauce?
Yeah.
What is
Dixie Delicious.
Walking down the street, she was shaking that stuff like a fat bag of meat. You gotta stay up. Go. Stay back. Yeah, I gotta step it up and go. I'm gonna sing this first, I won't sing no more. In the baby coming, I gotta step it up.
Okay, ain't that pretty? That's a long ways when we put it on the first.
That's beautiful. Now you got Elvis on the wall behind you. You like Elvis?
Yes, Dixie's crazy about him.
I wonder if Elvis would like B&B barbecue.
Yes, he's had some.
Has he?
And he comes around here in the little near the Waldenburg and over at Clepon, that's right about 2 miles from my house, and has a party every year over there.
Who does?
Elvis Presley, the personator does.
Oh, okay.
Step it up and go.
I started cooking fish around 1980, and I learned it from my aunt. She was a cook and she cooked for different people, and I needed help, and I called her and she came in and helped me, and she taught me how to fix it, and she had a special season, and we started from there, and the rest is history.
I've been coming and visiting with Mr. David for about 23 years now. My mother-in-law started me here, and I got a couple of friends in Orangeburg. They'll drive from Orangeburg over here to get fish from him, to have good fish all the time.
It must be special fish.
Yeah, we can say that. And the PR is good. You know, you don't mind spending your money with somebody that shows you that they care and the kindness, you know, the way you're treated when you're spending your money.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Mary's special every Friday. Fried fish every Friday.
Does she get the same kind of fish?
Same kind of fish every Friday. Won't eat nothing but croaker fish.
That's right, it's nothing but croaker.
What do you like about croaker?
It's good. That's all. It's good. Okay, see you later. Okay. Same time next week then. Okay. All right.
Yeah, right across the street here. That's Duke's Hash House. It's where he cooks his hogs, does his hash for the 2 restaurants he has, one being in Ellery and one in Bamberg. Chuck and Teresa Way are the owners, and they go back to some of the original Duke's family. Teresa's mother and father have a restaurant in Blackville. Her aunt and uncle have one in Ridgeland, and she's got a sister that has one in Columbia. And she's got a sister that has one in Beaufort.
Wow.
So the whole family is, they're wrapped up in it, so to speak.
And Duke's sort of defined barbecue for this area.
Boy, it did, sure did. And they all have the same sauce. So I think anyone you step into, it might be a little different with the preparation, but the sauce is about the same.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Y'all
See ya.
take care.
All right.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna sing this first, I won't sing no more. Yeah, baby, coming, and I got to go. We gotta step it up.
Stan, one of the recurring themes we've seen in this region's barbecue tradition is the story of barbecue saving the farm. In the early 20th century, more and more farmers struggled to make ends meet, and barbecue became a viable source of revenue. And we're about to see a classic example of this barbecue as income story.
I said I can't stay fat, but when I gotta step it up and go.
Tell me how the Duke's barbecue story started.
Well, my dad, Willie Balzer, started doing it for little groups here in Roseville, and he started opening up it once a week, and he hired Danny Dukes to help him because he was working with the South Carolina Forest Commission, and that's how the Dukes learned to cook it this way.
Granddaddy started off just doing it like just for the fun of it. A bunch of them get together, do it for the fun of it. Then he started at the community house, like Earl talked about a while ago, at the community house here in Roseville, just an old building. And then on Thursday night, the people would come. The old story would people come in horse and buggy from all around the Canaan community, like you were talking. That's where y'all grew up, I think. Roseville's like 8 miles outside Orangeburg, where we are. 9 miles out of Branchville. People come from all around that little thing, and that's kind of where it got started.
The Duke's name is something we're proud of. It's in our blood, and we want to make it as good as we can, and it's something that we feel that we can hand down to our children and their children on down the line. It's a good, honest living, and we enjoy doing it.
Duke's name is synonymous with barbecue. If you say Duke's, people know what you're talking about. It. At what point do you think that became the standard?
Well, I guess it would be Danny Dukes, the place in Cope, actually, because he was a Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he taught Uncle Earl how to barbecue. And then Uncle Dovey and Uncle Earl got together, and then Aunt Elma was a Dukes too, and that's how it went. And Aunt Myrtle was a Dukes, and Aunt Cersei was a Dukes, and so it was just a big family.
But the personality, Floyd, with Uncle Danny and all that, and Uncle Earl and my dad and all, is what really got this thing started.
Big part of the Duke's name is the fact that you get out there and talk with your customers. You don't alienate yourself. And so we get out front, we talk to our customers. They get to know us, we get to know them. And I think that's what brings them back. They feel like they're family. And they're coming home when they come to your restaurant.
Right. I think the Duke's family is successful because they put a good meal on the table. Trust me, you can travel anywhere you want to, and you won't find a family that can cook as good as this family right here.
1, 2, 3. Very good. I think that'll do it.
I'm going away, and I'm going to stay.
Duke's barbecue.
Be trouble.
The sauce is really out of sight.
And if you'll look behind me here, you really can't find a place to park. You've got cars on both sides of the street. The parking lot is full. And it's interesting, if you look at the vehicles you see here, you've got work trucks, you've got nice sedans and Cadillacs. It's a clear indication that Duke's has a really wide, diverse clientele. We've got young and old, black and white going in here, and when we go inside, we'll see how the eating arrangement is set up. It's set up to be in a group environment.
That's how you fix a plate.
And
Don't waste any room with the potato salad and everything.
What am I looking at there? What is on that plate?
You got your barbecued meat and your hash and your rice, hush puppies and pickles.
When we were young and looking for a way to make a better living for our family, Mr. Danny Dukes in our community was the first guy that started barbecuing in this area. My husband and I would go out and help him on Saturday mornings, and he really taught us how to cook.
What do you think you have to offer in the way of taste for tourists who come from other states that distinguishes it from a restaurant that's a chain restaurant?
This food is so good.
when you taste it the first time, it just locks it in your memory. I don't know if it's imprinted in there, some cerebral mechanism. It just does. And I mean, if you ever taste it, you probably move down here.
You think you can actually move people to South Carolina with your food?
Sure.
Huh?
We got the best fried chicken in Orangeburg, anywhere really. And that's Doretha's sister that cooks that, and she's got a home recipe.
Yeah, she fried chicken. I'm fried chicken just like that too, because we was taught when we was young how to do that.
So that comes from your mom?
Mom.
That's a recipe from your mother.
Yes, right.
So people, when they come eat this fried chicken, are really eating your mother's fried chicken. Feedback. Excuse me, have y'all eaten here before?
Yes.
What kind of food do they have in here?
They have a lot of soul food, like your grandma's cooking, and just a lot of food that really sticks to your stomach, sticks to your ribs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham and chicken pie and all kind of good things.
Hey, how's this seafood here?
Oh, it's the best in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Look, I've been eating fish about, oh God, at least 25 years. It's since I was old enough to take the bones out of it, and this is close to home.
What would you consider your specialties? What are you known for?
Stone stew is one of the specialties.
I just ordered one.
Tell me what it is and how would you describe it to somebody from Philadelphia or New York?
What stone stew is?
Yes, ma'am.
Pig ass, pigtails, and hog maws, and all kind of good stuff. All kind of good stuff. Anything that is on the whole, you like it, that's stone stew.
No, why are you laughing?
Because she's right.
She's right?
She's right.
Mr. Kears, is that a pretty good definition?
Yeah, she summed it up pretty good. We have a lot of white folks come in here and ask for stone stew, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Being introduced to them, you know, like on the job, black fellas came back to us and they taste it and they come in here and ask for some order of stone stew.
Hooked on Bulldog's Kitchen Stone Stew.
You're one of them.
I guess I am. It's awfully good.
It has a good southern taste.
I like the fried chicken, I like the ribs, and I come here and eat before I go anywhere to eat. I just love their cooking, and they cook good food. This is what you call soul food, where you can get your collard green, your black-eyed peas, your candy yam, any type, you know what I mean, a good soul food.
Is this like home cooking to you?
This is home cooking. Bulldog Kitchen is home cooking.
My mother treated her gold highway, and she going to stay, and she won't be trouble no more.
It's home cooked food, that's all.
Soul food.
When you eat it, you feel it. That's basically what soul food is, you know, food of love. You eat it, you feel it, and you wear it.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to see the evening sun go down. Oh, I hate to see the evening sun go down. When the sun goes down, oh my last.
In case you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 37th annual Governor's Frog Jump.
Mary's Kitchen. That is good old-fashioned, old-timey cooking. Yes,
Mary's Kitchen.
Mary's Kitchen, right down the road there.
Well, today she's got barbecue with hash and rice. She has rice and gravy, string beans, and potato salad.
All right, folks, we are ready to go. We got our first frog out, and we're ready to do some jumping. One jump, two, jump number 3. Got a good jump there. Here it goes, and the race is on. All right.
Springfield is a new one, Goodlands.
Goodland barbecue, right all the way right here.
Goodland, yes, sir. Right over there. When a tourist wanders into Springfield and eats at Goodland's, when they eat that home cooking and that barbecue, is that a taste that's a lot like?
He would have the same taste that we had 50 years ago. It hadn't changed that much.
Well, we started Goodland. We wanted to do something, try to get back to the old original way of doing things. And we do heat the pits up with gas, but once the pits are warmed up and the meat's loosened up with the fat dripping and this, that, and the other, that's when we switch to the wood. Yeah. So from then on up, the wood actually does all the cooking. It's a lot of hard work, but it's something we enjoy doing. And of course, Bo Peep and Roy, a lot of help. When I started the Goodland idea, I just wanted in some way recognize all the good cooks around here, especially the hog cookers and the guys who make the good sauces. We use Bo Peep sauce and also use his hash recipe.
Well, Bo Peep, what brought you to be willing to give your hash recipe and your barbecue recipe to the owner of this Goodland barbecue?
But Billy been a good friend of mine for a good while, and he just said I went in to talk with him and asked me about a recipe, and I said, well, I'll give you mine, and I just donated mine to him and let him use it as he see fit.
Stan, when you go in the Goodland restaurant, you'll notice that I've tried to tie a lot of the local theme, if you will, to the inside of our restaurant. With the old boards on the wall, black and white pictures on the walls, I've just tried to make it a community thing so that when people come in, they can see that we're trying to share what is and was here in the Goodland community.
A lot of times they don't know what it is and they'll ask, you know. Some of them had never eaten it before, and hash especially. From up north, they don't know what hash is.
So you give them a hash workshop?
Yeah, I always do that. I used to tell them what it is and all. I sure do.
Our slogan is where the best local recipes merge on one table. That's a tribute to the good cooks and the recipes in this part of the country.
Most of your barbecue places, it started out as a family. With me, a lot of my friends that's in the barbecue business is family owned. Such as Antlers and Kittrell's and all those is in Orangeburg, and they are all started out as family businesses, and I think that's what makes it successful. They're dedicated to what they do. You put a piece of hickory wood or oak wood in the pit, and it goes on the element, it gets red hot, and it puts all the smoke into your meat, or into your ribs or your chicken.
That's the only piece of wood you have to put in
All the
there?
wood that you need.
That
and
one little stick?
It's cooked with infrared heat from the top and the bottom. And that wood smokes and puts out all the smoke. At times you have to cut your smoker off because it gets too much smoke.
Well, your dad would really be amazed by this cooker.
Yeah, I would love to see him come back now and see how things have changed over the years. And like I say, it was just so much hard work for him. And back then, when he cut a load of wood, he had to cut it with an axe.
I wanted to get some barbecue and home cooking around here that's like what you grew up with. Where would you tell me to go?
Well, down in Utahville, Sweatman Barbecue.
You remember Mr. Sweatman's father?
Oh yes, that was my granddad. I lived with him when I was first grade until I graduated from school. He'd have a birthday dinner every year, every September 30th, around September 30th, and he'd invite all his friends, all the family, and everybody eat out in the yard. I mean, it'd probably be 100 people. And That's one thing everybody looked forward to once a year. They knew they were coming to eat Swetman's barbecue.
It's one of the few wood barbecues left.
So that was the origins of this tradition, was his birthday barbecue.
I would say so.
And that's where people in the community began to say, whoa, that Swetman's is good.
It is undoubtedly the best barbecue you've ever tasted in your life.
When we had the family birthday dinner, everyone just enjoyed it so much, you know, so why not just spread it?
Yeah.
We have some relatives that come from West Virginia, and we're going to let them taste the best barbecue in South Carolina.
We're going to give them a little taste of South Carolina to take back to West Virginia. That way they'll come back.
This is the hash. Put some rice with the hash on top of it.
Okay, because she's been telling us about the hash.
I'm having ribs with cracklings.
With what now?
What do you think Swetman's offers a visitor coming off the interstate here?
Some real barbecue, real Southern barbecue the way it's supposed to be cooked. We cook with oak coals or hickory coals and no gas.
That's slow cooking, isn't it?
Slow cooking, it takes about 12 hours. And if you want real barbecue, you use oak, like the old time people did it in the South years ago. We put the coals around the outside of the hog instead of the middle. Bub Swetman was my dad's brother, and my dad made the hash here for my Uncle Bub, and they showed me how to do it, and then when my dad died, I had a chance to come back here and make the hash.
That is good. Yeah.
All right. We treat our people that comes in, I don't care where they come from, like family.
We had family get-togethers back when I was just a lad. We'd finish up the chores early, and then we'd dress the best we had. After Mom had fried the chicken, and we'd combed and brushed our hair, we'd load up in Daddy's truck, and off to Papa's we would tear. Now at Papa's house there weren't a lot of room for a little fella to stand, 'cause the folks was laughing loud, slapping backs and shaking hands.
I'm intrigued with old stores. As the old expression goes, only if the walls could talk. The old stores were, they and the churches were the center of commerce, the center of socializing, the center of community and rural activity in the good old days. People could sit around the pot-bellied stove or sit on the front porch in rocking chairs or on the old bench, play checkers, talk about current events, talk about bygone days, all of that. I love history, and I like the nostalgia of the old times, and I thought this would be a way to share a bygone era with family, friends, and patrons.
What you making?
This is tomato pie. This is probably my single most popular dish on the line outside of barbecue or the ribs.
The food is very delicious, old recipes, and the food reminds us of the past when we were children.
It sort of takes you back to your mom and grandparents cooking.
With a lot of love in the pot.
That's right.
Stan, we're going to dedicate this song to your home cooking and barbecue documentary. Sounds good. Just a bowl of butter beans, pass the biscuits if you please. I don't want no collard greens, just a bowl of good old butter beans. Just a bowl Pass the biscuits, if you please. I don't want no collard green, just a bowl of good old butter beans. Just a bowl of butter beans. Pass the biscuits, if you please. I don't want no collard green, just a bowl of good old butter beans.
We sing a few more, it'll be time for breakfast.